Alright guys, I already primed and moisturized my skin, so I'm using the Covergirl Elixir with the Prolongwear foundation. They remind me so much of each other, and the only reason I mixed them is because I needed the color to be a little bit lighter, and I didn't have a lighter Covergirl one, so I mixed it together. I have since got a lighter one. I really, really love both of these foundations for oily skin. They tend to look a little bit dewy, but they actually keep oils at bay way better than all the other foundations that are catered, supposedly, quote unquote, to oily skin. These two are amazing. Alright, to prime my eyes, I'm using the Makeup Forever Aqua paint. This one is in the color Taupe. I really like this one because it's matte, but it's also a little bit deeper than some of my other primers that I have for my eyes. It's a great base. I really like it. I don't necessarily need it for this look, but I just liked using it, to be honest. So I like to smear it a little bit with my fingers and then also use a flat brush. To add to my crease, a little transition, I'm going to use the color Saddle into the crease. I like this color a lot. It's very similar to Texture, which was my old favorite, but I like this one because it actually is completely matte. So I really like that color. I like adding a transition after or before. It really doesn't matter, but when I'm using this kind of primer, I do it afterwards. Alright, now for my lid color, I'm using the classic color from MUAH called Humid. I used to have Humid way back in high school, and I never wore it because I didn't know how to do makeup in high school really well. But I did it. I just never used this one that much. I think I liked those brighter colors more. So the way I'm using this particular eyeshadow is I'm laying it flat with a brush, and then I'm using a little bit of brown script at the very edge of my lid color. So you want to make sure that when you're blending it, you're only blending the very edge. Try not to kind of brush your brush all over the lid, because you're going to just actually create more fallout and you're going to knock off the color. So I'm doing that first, and then I'm going to accentuate the color a little bit more with some spray. I think this one was from Mehron, and I'm adding that on my lids just to accentuate the color and make it look a little bit brighter. For my contour slash bronzy, I don't like calling it contour because this one is actually more like a bronzing type of product. I'm using the Colourpop concealer. It's a darker shade, but I really, really like using this for almost like a bronzing. Again, it's not cream contouring, it's more bronzing because I'm not putting it in the hollows of my face. I'm adding it in the areas where I would normally dust on bronzer. Really quickly, I'm doing my brows, and then I'm going to go right into the concealer. This one's from Sephora. I really like this concealer. I remember I bought it a long time ago and I had the wrong color, and I finally replaced it with the right one. But I'm using this underneath my eyes to highlight and conceal underneath the area to finish off the foundation and the whole face makeup. And the sponge I'm using is from L'Oreal. I really like this one because you can really get sharp lines from this, but you can also, I don't know, it's just very comfortable on the face. Now I'm adding a little bit more of that bronzy type of cream concealer onto my skin. I like doing this after the concealer because sometimes the concealer can totally wipe this away. So I take steps and take turns between those two. This is actually an Anastasia powder. I really like the way it looks, but it's a little bit too light on my jawbone, and I think I will not do this ever again, at least for the summer-ish going into winter time. Now I'm taking this eyeshadow. It's very similar to Blue Brown Pigment, and I'm putting it on top with my finger. This one is from Too Faced, but it's really similar to Blue Brown Pigment. And so I'm blending it a little bit, but then I'm adding a little bit more on the very, very outer edge. It's creating kind of dimension, but it's only subtle when you move. Now I'm setting my face with the Maybelline powder all over before I add any other powders on top. To bronze a little bit better and more, I'm adding, I believe I'm using Give Me Sun. I totally didn't show it, but I'm pretty sure this is Give Me Sun by MUAH. I really love this orangey tone. I think it's just so flattering on my skin, if I do say so myself. It's not for everybody. I know not everybody likes this color, but I really do like this on like NC42 type olive skin tones. And then I'm adding a little bit of that on my cheek area. I don't necessarily like wearing blush every time because I always end up wearing peach, so I just add this on there. Now I'm using the color Whisper of Guilt, which is a highlighting product from MUAH. It's limited edition. If you can find some online, run and get it. That brush is also worth it. It's a real brush. It's amazing. But Whisper of Guilt is really flattering on the skin, and I really do love it. So I also added a little bit on my inner corner just to kind of tie the look together. And I just love the way this makes my skin look. Now I'm taking the color Saddle on my lower lash line, and I'm adding that all over the lower lash line. You can kind of smoke this out. It's really up to you. I know not everybody likes wearing drop shadow, but I just think it really makes a look super complete and it looks finished, and it also looks very smoky, and it's just my favorite things to do. And then I'm also adding a little bit more of that Too Faced eyeshadow that I used. Again, it's very similar to that blue brown pigment from MAC, but I'm adding that to the lower lash line. It's going to create that depth because it has that like duochrome dark color with the blue and the green. But again, don't be afraid to take it down on the lash line. It looks super beautiful. You'll get used to it. All right, the next thing I'm doing is adding mascara. I really love this mascara. It's so great. I've tried a couple other ones lately and they just are so disappointing compared to this one. It's the L'Oreal one, the new like Lash Paradise one. It's just so great. It's super voluminous. Makes my lashes look like fake. For my lips, I'm adding the color Whirl. I'm pretty much just adding this by itself. I like the way it's more like a taupey color mixed with this like olivey deep eye. I just didn't want like a light nude on the lips. For my brows, I'm just finishing that off with the Essence Give Me Brow or Make a Brow, whichever the one is, and I'm using the color dark brown. I really like this one because actually it's called Brownie Brows, and I really like it because it makes my brows look a little bit more structured. And then to add my beauty marks in, I'm using an eyebrow pencil. This just helps make my skin look a little bit more natural, as if I'm wearing nothing at all underneath. So I'm adding a little bit of spray to make my skin a little bit on the dewier side, and this is from Milani. And that's pretty much everything. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.